Hello, I'm Elgato and welcome back to Seeds Sunday. This is the Sometimes Weekly series on my channel where I show you seeds for Minecraft which are particularly interesting and worth checking out in some way. And as you all do know, this isn't a very frequent series on the channel outside of updates where there are new biomes and such, but in response to last week's seeds, someone sent me a seed on Twitter and I didn't believe the image they shared with me. They were like, oh yeah, there's an island surrounded by this, surrounded by that, and I was like, ah, nice image right there. But then I loaded it up and it is in fact a real thing. There is in fact a seed, which if you type in this seed on screen right now, you'll spawn just over here, which is a survival island. So it's an island with some trees on, which you can start base on, even some sugarcane, which is extra nice, surrounded by icebergs instead of water, which is already a pretty wild thing by itself. But then those icebergs are surrounded by mesa biomes, and it gets wilder than that when you dive into it, which is what I wanted to do with today's video, diving into the full showcase of this absolutely absurd seed, and I hope you all do enjoy it. You can like this if you do like it, but let's dive straight into talking about exactly what's so great about this. So first of all, let's mention the fact that, again, this works on any Minecraft Bedrock platform. If you spawn into it, you'll spawn somewhere on the island, which is great because, again, the island has everything you need to technically start a house and start a survival world, but then things start to get a little bit weird once you leave, the spawn island, because unlike, any other seed where you usually have to swim away, on this one, you can just jump onto one of the many icebergs. And in fact, the interesting thing is, although the icebergs are surrounding it by a serious distance on every side, if you look at the map, even after this huge amount of iceberg in every single direction, there's an even larger amount of mesa biome found in every direction from that. So that's right, you can find just around away from spawn, icebergs into mesa biome. Again, super hot biome meant to represent like the mesa places in like southwest the United States, but yet here you can find them just kind of found normally, which is pretty darn absurd. But then you'll also see some desert islands, which is again even weirder in my opinion. And in case you have any friends that don't believe in global warming, here's the best proof anyone could ever have. As you can see, there's a desert, there's a polar bear in the desert. Does this make any sense? No, this is global warming in action right here. Only you can prevent it by making more seeds like this less possible. And as you can see, boom, there's a desert, there's a polar bear. It's actually pretty weird to see, like, this isn't a normal thing in Minecraft, but it happens because of a, slight error with the way, temperatures generate in Minecraft Bedrock. So yeah, polar bears, 2 of them now. Global warming has doubled in the time I've been making this video. It's a pretty serious, issue by itself. And it's not even an entirely isolated incident. As you can see over here, there's a lot of beaches. Admittedly, it's not quite a desert here. They're beaches instead of deserts, but there's a lot of beaches with the exact same thing happening right on the shoreline on the other side, which is pretty weird to see. So yeah, this iceberg biome expands pretty far, hundreds of blocks from spawn if you go north in this direction, and it just is, again, it's a wild thing to see. It's also, though, a really good source of packed ice, if you want that, and later on in the game, one of the most valuable blocks you can get, which is blue ice. In fact, over here, I found one of the rarer types of icebergs, which seems to be mostly made of just pure blue ice above the surface of the water, which is amazing when you think about it. Just getting this much blue ice, which is otherwise you have to go under the water, you have to really cleverly, really trickily search for it. Here you can just see an entire iceberg of blue ice, which is a nice rare little structure. You can see just how uncommon they really are looking around this place, and yeah, blue ice just all over as much as you can see. But the seed is even better than just, oh yeah, it's a survival island kind of thing, mixed with all the packed ice you could ever want, mixed with all the blue ice you could ever want. But it gets even better because as you head towards the mesa, what you'll spot. So just so you're absolutely aware of where this is, going a little bit south of the spawn, south of the mesa a little bit, you'll find yourself an ocean monument this close to spawn. So again, just to show you where spawn is, it's represented by that beacon just over there. This is where the ocean monument is. It's just over a couple hundred blocks away. And yeah, ocean monument, one of the rarer, sources of a lot of different things. If you want sponges, for instance, if you want prismarine, if you want sea lanterns, you need to come here to get it. But it's so close to spawn that you can just get all that stuff really, really easily. I find that amazing personally, that there is, again, as well as being all of the rarest stuff already, there is also an ocean monument, a pretty tricky, pretty rare, very hard to find thing, just kind of chilling right there next to spawn. And it should, of course, be also noted the fact that in between the spawn and this ocean monument, just in case that's going too far for you, like, couple hundred blocks, who can do that? This is survival island. I don't want to really leave my island too far. Well, what you'll also find just around your island even is a bunch of underwater structures. Because this is a, a cold ocean, because again, it's literally icebergs. I'm sure I don't need to inform you that iceberg equals cold. Because this is entirely cold ocean, what you're going to find is most of the underwater structures have sea lanterns in them. This is a good way to guide you towards finding chests like, say, this one right here. Oh, look at this. We can find a place, and inside the chest there's a stone axe and a fishing rod. Don't really need it, but it's a nice little bonus, right? But you can find these all over the place, around spawn. There's another one in here, for instance, which has coal, and a treasure map. You can find these things just found all over because they are very, very visible because, again, it's a pretty plain, ocean where you, and because it's all cold, you can see, them with sea lanterns, which is pretty darn great. And you can find all that sort of stuff underneath the icebergs, which is, yeah, it's a wild experience to be searching under these things, but it's something you can do in this update. And it's something you can do on pretty much every single side. So you can see just to the west of it over here, you can see how, like, oh yeah, look at this, just over here, just the northwest of spawn. There's also like one in the warm ocean, which does eventually generate, of course. And there's also a ship turned on its side. So that's another great thing. Like, find you some of those, free sources of potential diamonds. You can even see one just in the distance over there from this one, another set of ocean monuments, another set of, ocean treasure, and then also another ocean monument just over there, and then another treasure ship next to it. This, this seed is just filled with treasure, which is always expected when you have a lot of water, but this seed isn't just water. One of the downsides, one of the reasons you don't pick seeds, which are made up entirely of water, even though they contain things like this next to things like that, next to another pirate ship just over there. You can see there's one that's actually fully formed, which is kind of great. So the reason that you don't usually pick seeds, which have so many of these things, again, it's perfectly formed. Like, almost none of it is missing. That's a rare sight underwater. And it's even got a treasure map on it. So, and not even a second chest, where you can get some fire protection leather pants, which, I mean, I always want fire protection leather pants. It's exactly what you need in the world, especially Fawn's one. What a weird enchantment. But yeah, basically, the fact that you can find so much in the oceans is great because this is kind of like a detour from the main seed. The main seed is always going to be this absolutely astounding spawn, which is great because everyone's going to spawn here when they get into your world. This is going to be the default position where people join in and they just see the most astounding thing, but they're not too far of a walk or a nether portal journey or a rail thing. You can set up like a minecart thing going to the place you want to settle down, which is this huge mesa biome. So I'm sure I don't need to tell you, when you spawn in Minecraft Bedrock, you have the option to have a map, and this map is covered in mesa. Like, again, there's a lot of, iceberg around there, but there's even more mesa, and this is great if you want, hardened or stained clay, whatever you want to call it. You can even call it terracotta if you want. But if you want to get yourself some of this clay right here, there's so much of it found all over the place. If you want to leave it and just make it an astounding monument, then boom, you can settle down a house here, and you know what's great about settling down here? There is no rain whatsoever. So, no rain, and you get an astounding view, and you're pretty close to spawn, and you have a pretty great looking seed, but it gets better. Because found slightly just to the west of there, you'll see how there is some coral. Oh, there's a bit of a weird lighting glitch over there, but there is some coral. It's a huge coral reef found just to the west of that. So you can have yourself, again, in a slightly astounding sounding, seed right here. We have ourselves, the polar bear survival island, the kind of neutral biome, surrounded by the coldest biome, surrounded by one of the hottest biomes, surrounded by some coral reefs, which means you can have all of those things in pretty short order of one another. There's no thousands of blocks of searching. Instead, this is all the best bits of the updated aquatic, with a lot of other best bits from previous updates that you usually don't get to experience. Mesa biomes are very rare. It's just one of the kind of important facts about them. You kind of just have to appreciate these things as being a rare beauty, a little bit rarer than the other biomes, especially in Minecraft Bedrock, where biomes are so big, again, and this one's even bigger than normal, that, going from biome to biome can take some serious time, so the odds of finding one of the rare biomes, like, I saw a lot of people say last week that, like, Mega Tiger's so rare to me, and although it's not rare objectively speaking, the fact that you have to go through so many biomes to find the even slightly rare biomes means that every slightly rare biome feels very rare, and every very rare biome, like the Mesa biome, or even just moderately rare, is incredibly rare feeling. So yeah, you get this entire place, everything the light touches can be yours in this mesa biome right here. It's also worth noting, just in like a funny, kind of repetition of the seed, you can see how just over here there's an iceberg biome found to the south of the mesa as well. So once you go through the entirety of the mesa biome, which is over 1,000 blocks from spawn at this point in the same biome, you'll find yourself some more icebergs, followed by, roof forest, extreme hills, other things you might want if you want to have different types of trees, or you like the extreme hills biome, you want emeralds, etc. But let's talk more about this mesa and what makes it so interesting, because just found down here at the south, what you're going to find is a couple of exposed ravines. One of the interesting differences of Bedrock and Java is on Java there is a height limit for ravines. On Bedrock, no such limit exists. You can jump all the way down to Y11 from the surface, which again, it doesn't seem so big, but when you jump down, it actually is. This is all the way down to diamond layer, which is great. You want to find some diamonds, but honestly, one of the biggest benefits of the mesa, and one of the biggest benefits you should take advantage of, is that mesa, the gold will spawn everywhere, not just down from Y40. It spawns all over this biome, and it spawns much more frequently. And you might not believe that on itself, like, why should I believe that? But when you look around here, look how many gold veins we're seeing in this one ravine. Gold, 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 gold. Wait, gold, I missed another one. Then there's gold in this cave, gold over there, gold over here. I think these ravines by themselves gives you the best insight into why and how there is in fact so much gold, because it does spawn so much more frequently. Any cave, any exposed area, if you just do a little bit of a search, you're gonna find some gold. So just over here, there's a, just over here, there's a cave, for instance. If we search through, and there's literally gold right there. But I'm sure if we go down here a little bit, then we'll eventually find some gold in there too, because you're not. It's a mesa biome. These things are, there we go. There is gold in here too. These things are filled to the brim with gold, and if you want to make, say, a beacon, if you want to make anything that requires a lot of gold, a railway track, for instance, powered rail is what I'm getting at right there. I know regular rail uses iron, but if you want to make these things in bulk, which, you'd be totally reasonable to want to do, then you can do so using these biomes. Any exposed stone even, look at this right here. This is the start of a mine shaft, I do believe, because it's just the weird area of dirt, but like you can see, gold, gold, gold. There's 3 veins of gold just in this one little area. And then there's some more just behind the wall right there. I was trying to dig for something else, but 2 blocks in I find some more gold, and it's a vein of 8 gold apparently. You can actually find these dirt squares all around the place. It seems to be either a Bedrock exclusive feature or one that wasn't on console, which is either way quite interesting, right? A nice little bonus to the Seed Sunday right there. But yeah, mesa biomes, they're pretty interesting places by themselves, just by the visual appearance. The fact that there's one right next to so many icebergs is even more interesting. The fact that it's such a huge one, it's that big, has to have all those U's in the middle to properly describe its size, is another big benefit. And the fact that being so huge gives you access to so much gold, which is great for so many builds, gives you access to so many different things, is really one of the strong benefits of this seed in my opinion. Lots of everything you can want with oceans, lots of everything you could want with, I guess resources, because gold is one of the more valuable ones in the game. Lots of everything you could possibly want as a whole, on top of the survival challenge, which also doubles, even once you finish the survival island, if you choose to use it in that way, and you want to keep playing the seed, also doubles as one of the most astounding spawns you can ever have. Because if I real quickly kill myself in Minecraft, I should clarify, but if we just quickly die, I'm going to show you what it looks like to respawn or spawn in for the first time on this seed. As you can see, literally on the beacon in this case, you spawn in what makes you just think, what has happened here? There can be polar bears attacking you from the spawn. How often is it that your first mob you encounter is a polar bear? Not very often, unless you're playing this seed, or you have friends that are doing so. There is such a great optic on just the spawn here, that I think, this alone looks like it's some weird modded terrain, but it's real, it's a seed you can check out, and I totally recommend doing so by using the seed at the start of the video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this seed did, manage to encourage you to give another survival world a go. I know a lot of people play Minecraft in a kind of sporadic way. I play Minecraft on the same world pretty much for most of what I do, but a lot of people are like, okay, this is going to be a fresh challenge, I'm going to play today, and then tomorrow we're going to forget the world. If you want to do a challenge like that, this is great for that, because again, look, cows and polar bears in the same place at spawn with a really fun challenge mixed in there. I think that's perfect, and I hope you do agree, and if you do like the challenges, I guess that's great. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.